The Aviator is a biographical film that portrays the early years of the legendary director and pilot Howard Hughes, who suffered from obsessive-compulsive disorder. The story is set between the 1920s and 1940s. Released in 2004 in the United States, the film grossed $213 million against a budget of $110 million. Directed by Martin Scorsese and written by John Logan, the film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, and Kate Beckinsale, among others, with a runtime of 170 minutes. The story begins in 1913 in Houston, where 9-year-old Howard Hughes is being bathed by his mother, who warns him about the cholera epidemic, saying he is never safe. Fast forward 14 years, Howard is producing Hell's Angels and appoints Noah Dietrich to manage his business empire. After the release of The Jazz Singer, the first partially talking film, Howard becomes obsessed with making his film more realistic, deciding to turn it into a talking picture. Despite its success, Howard remains dissatisfied and orders the film to be recut right after its premiere. Howard then embarks on a romantic relationship with actress Katharine Hepburn, who helps ease his worsening OCD symptoms. In the 1930s, Howard sets a speed record with the H-1 racer and, 3 years later, breaks the world record by flying around the globe in 4 days. He purchases a majority stake in TWA, leading his competitor Juan Trippe, president of Pan Am, to persuade his friend Senator Owen Brewster to introduce legislation granting Pan Am monopoly on international flights. Hepburn grows tired of Howard's eccentricities and leaves him for actor Spencer Tracy. Howard briefly dates 15-year-old Faith Domergue and then Ava Gardner, yet he still harbors feelings for Hepburn, going so far as to blackmail a journalist to prevent him from publishing reports on her relationship with the married Tracy. Howard signs contracts with the Air Force to develop a spy plane and a troop transport unit. In the 1940s, while testing the XF-11 reconnaissance aircraft, one of the engines fails mid-flight, crashing in Beverly Hills and causing severe injuries to Howard. After World War II, the military cancels its order for the Hercules aircraft. Undeterred, Howard continues its development using his personal funds, even mortgaging his company to complete the plane. Howard's OCD intensifies, leading him to bug Ava Gardner's home and phone to monitor her. The FBI raids his home in search of evidence of war profiteering, leaving behind filth that triggers Howard's phobia of germs. Senator Brewster secretly offers to drop the charges if Howard sells TWA to Juan Trippe, but Howard refuses. His OCD becomes so severe that he isolates himself in a germ-free zone for 3 months. Juan Trippe pressures Senator Brewster to summon Howard for a Senate hearing, anticipating he won't show. Howard defends himself against Brewster's accusations. Ava Gardner visits Howard, grooming and preparing him for the hearing. Howard charges Brewster with accepting bribes from Juan Trippe. He promises to leave the country if he can't make the Hercules fly. Ultimately, Howard succeeds in flying the plane. As he talks with Dietrich and engineer Glenn about creating a new jet plane for TWA during a celebration, an anxiety attack strikes him upon seeing 2 men in germ-resistant suits. Glenn hides Howard in the bathroom while Dietrich rushes to get a doctor. Howard begins to recall his childhood fascination with aviation and his ambition, repeatedly muttering, "The way of the future."